Welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast, episode 23 on WTW TV. This is your girl, Adi 3000. Shout out to everybody who's listening to us on WTW Radio. This is WTW Saturdays, and this is what Worth the Wait does for you guys each and every Saturday. We bring you a new podcast, we bring you a new music video, and we bring you a new song. So where can you find all of our music? You can find us on SoundCloud, WTW Radio. You can also find the podcast, the Ambition Hour podcast, as well as the other podcasts that we'll be bringing to you guys soon on Apple Podcasts and also on SoundCloud. And then on WTW TV, which is the YouTube channel, is where all the videos are, all the visuals. We have over 80 videos on our page, so thank you so much for liking. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning each and every single Saturday. I am so grateful for this opportunity. This past week has been a little overwhelming. My emotions have been all over the place. It's besides the fact that I'm just a girl, it could also be because of some other things that were going on in my life. You know, sometimes we think that life is going so good, and not that it's not going good, but we also have to be grateful and be aware that, you know, anything can happen at any given time, and who are we to question how or when anything is supposed to happen. So I'm just very grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to do this podcast, episode 23, you guys. Like, hello. Episode 23, that's a big milestone. I never thought that we would be here, but we are. I did do a little poll on Instagram to see who has, you know, subscribed to the channel, and everybody who told me that you guys were subscribed to the channel, I am so happy and grateful that you watch the show and that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, because that means a lot to us. You guys don't understand what you just hitting the subscribe button really does for us. It makes us so happy, because it's just one more person. Even if it's just one more, we appreciate you. And there was also people who told me that they were fans of the show. That made me so happy that they listen to all the time. So shout out to all those people, because honestly, if it weren't for you guys, and not that you guys saying that mattered or it just made me change my drive, it just opened my eyes to see wow, people are actually watching, and I'm very grateful for that, because we started off with just a dream and courage and ambition to just go ahead and start something that was going to be great, and look at where we are. We're in episode 23, and I'm so blessed, so happy. Yesterday we were at the open mic happy hour at the Villa in Miami Gardens. Shout out to that. That was so much fun. I had way too much fun. It was Spit's birthday, so we hella celebrated. There was cake. He got to perform. Hav got to perform. It was beautiful. It was crazy, because we went last week for the single release party of Mr. Feelgood. And before that, Hav unfortunately got into an accident. Thank God he's alive. But, you know, we were there, we were present, we were happy. And then, you know, that was one of the things that kind of had my emotions like a little because I was just so overwhelmed with what happened. But we're just very grateful that he's alive. And then, you know, with him, he got a new car. So now, you know, we get the new car and we're driving up to the Villa. The boys are going to perform. It's Spit's birthday. It was such a build up to that night, to last night, that I'm just so grateful to have seen the boys both hit the stage. It was amazing. Have performed Plan B, which is one of my favorite songs. It's the song that I have as my alarm clock, you know, to wake me up in the morning, to kind of get me going, because there is no Plan B. And then also Spitz did perform Kinda, which the video for Kinda is already up on YouTube, you guys. So make sure you guys go and check that video out. You like it, you comment on it. I'm on Instagram doing a Kinda Sorta challenge already, because ladies, this song is for us. This is a cute little song. You know, it's one of those songs that is singing, and then he's rapping, and then some of the lyrics that he's saying is that he wants it to be his first like his last first kiss. What? So that means basically like he's just like, this is like, he wants to find that girl that he shares his last first kiss with. So like, this is a woman I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life type of thing. And I don't know if you guys know, but Spitz is a little bit of a romantic. He loves his little, like, you know, his little R&B and hip hop songs, and I fucks with that because I grew up in the era where like Ja Rule was coming out with Ja Rule and like Mariah Carey, and a lot of these different hip hop artists that were getting into like doing songs with R&B. So, you know, we love that, we fucks with that. So make sure you guys go check out that video. Yesterday I was having a conversation with one of the guests that we've had on the show before, which is Hot Wheels. Shout out to Hot Wheels. Him and his lady were out there yesterday at the open mic happy hour, and there were just, you know, positive vibes. Hot Wheels is he was a guest on episode 8, and it was a blessing because he pulled up in a motherfucking wheelchair, you guys. Like, it was amazing to see that, to witness that, to see him just like by any means necessary just show up. That was amazing, and I'm just till this day very grateful that he came through in the way that he did. So we got to see him yesterday. We hadn't seen his lady in a minute, and so when we see both of them, it's like positive vibes. I'm very excited to see her. We hadn't seen her. She didn't show up last week, and it was interesting because he started telling me about, you know, everything that, you know, he's been doing and all the moves that he's been making. And of course I follow him on Instagram, so I see a lot of what he's doing, and I'm just so proud of him. Like, I told Hot Wheels, shout out Hot Wheels, shout out to you. I told him, I'm like, man, you're doing everything that you said that you were going to do when you came on the show. And if you go back and you look at episode 8 and you listen to everything that he's talking about, that he's like, oh, you know, this is what's coming in the works, this is what I got planned. You know, he came out with shirts, you know, and he's performing in very big venues. He performed at the People Matter Fest where Rick Ross was at, Trick Daddy was at, Mike Smith, you know, some other local artists. And I was in California seeing this, and then for him to like tell me about it and say that it was his biggest crowd ever. And it's a blessing because if you remember on episode 8, you know, Hot Wheels did tell us that he wasn't supposed to be alive. Like, he was supposed to die shortly after his birth. And, you know, he's, I think, 29 years old now, if I'm not mistaken, and he's out here still living, he's performing. He is in a wheelchair, but he doesn't let that hold him back. That's like, I feel like that's like his superpower, and I'm just so happy for him. And I'm like, I was just happy to be able to have the conversation with him and to let him know, like, hey, you know, everything that you said that you were going to do on the show, you're doing it. So shout out to the Ambition Hour podcast fam, Hot Wheels. We wish you nothing but success, you and your lady, to have, you know, a beautiful life and just positive vibes to you guys. So last week, Teyana Taylor dropped her album. And I loved it. It's a pretty good album. I'm not going to lie to you guys and sit here and tell you that I've been listening to it nonstop, because I've been listening to the Carter's album, Love Is Everything. Everything is Love, my bad. Everything is Love, nonstop. Like, I don't understand why. I don't know if Beyonce put a spell on me, if she's speaking to me, she's Jay-Z, and like, I don't know, like, and then the anniversary of Reasonable Doubt happened too, so it's just kind of like, ugh, I just want to keep listening to Jigga, and then Beyonce is just like the best. So I really tried listening to, and I do have a couple of things to talk about the Teyana Taylor album. As far as like, the album didn't drop on Friday. We had done the episode already on Saturday, and I had gotten to listen to it, so there was like a backstory behind that, was that she didn't even know when it was going to be dropped, that Kanye had fun with like the delete button, and that, because I think the album is only like 8 tracks, and I don't think that that's wrong, like, you know, because a lot of the albums that have been coming out are 8 tracks, 9 tracks, and I'm very, very happy about that because it's a fast listen. And not only that, I feel like when it's shorter tracks, you don't have the opportunity to skip as much, because if you skip too much, you skip out on everything. But then if the album isn't good, it's not really worth the listen. So as far as the Tiana Taylor album, I really liked it. I just haven't fully gotten into it because I've just been listening to the Carter's album, Everything Is Love. And so, but also it came to my attention that she didn't even know that it dropped until one of her friends told her, like, hey, your album dropped, it's up, people can listen to it, type of thing. And I just thought that it was that was interesting, because it's like, wait a minute, like, you don't know. But I guess I also see like how we do it, like, because we're so hands-on with everything. Like, I'm in charge of when the Ambition Hour podcast goes up. Hav and Spitz are in charge of when their music goes out, what video comes out. We're so very hands-on. So for me to hear that this superstar doesn't even know that her project is coming out is a little like alarming, because it's like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that she didn't know that this project, like, when it was out? Because when you're dropping something, like, as far as an album or even an episode or even something, like, you want to know when to promote it. You want to know, like, that's one of the things that I admire about Drake. Drake had a release date. He had the release date. He had the billboards. We were driving, like, in Miami. We were driving up north, and we saw 2 billboards of Scorpion, and it dropped. He had the promotion, he had the listening party, and he had everything set up, and he knew. He's a little more hands-on when it comes to that. And then I felt like with the Tiana Taylor album, she didn't have that. And I don't think that that's fair, because that wasn't just Tiana Taylor. It happened the same thing with Nas. Like, Nas's project it was like, if you're gonna tell us a date, I feel like it should be, on that date. Like, but sometimes I understand things happen, because there have been episodes that I do on a Saturday, and then the video won't come up until Sunday or whatnot. And I get it, because sometimes, like, the editing, like, goes longer than you think. You get another idea, and it takes a lot of play. But I do think that at least, she should at least know when it, like, get at least a notification, like, hey girl, we put your album up. But yeah, so she has some pretty good songs. I'm just gonna go quickly down the track list. She has No Manners, Gonna Love Me, Issues, Hold On. She has Hurry, which is featuring Kanye West, Three-Way, which is featuring Ty Dolla $ign, if I'm not mistaken. She has Rose in Harlem, Never Would Have Made It, and WTP, which is WTP is something PUSSY. Not sure what, like, I can't remember what it is, but so there's 8 songs. It's 23 minutes. This is a really fast listen. I love her voice, so I would not mind listening. Like, I don't mind listening to this, like, just to, take a break from something else, or to appreciate her voice, because she does have a beautiful voice. And I've heard some mixed reviews about this album. Like, a lot of people are digging the Rose in Harlem. A lot of people are digging Hurry. Some people are not caring for the Kanye, feature. I don't understand why Kanye was featured, but then if Ty was featured in Three-Way, that's none of my business, though. But yeah, so I'm just happy that she dropped her album. That was one of the things that I was talking about last week, that I was just happy that she was dropping a project. And because she does have a beautiful voice, she has she has a presence about her that just makes you want to, like, support her. Like, I want to see her win. Tiana, we here at the Ambition Hour podcast want to see you win, girl, because listen, I've been following you since My Sweet 16, and I was like, this girl is my entire mood. She is my entire mood, and I need this girl. Like, she was just awesome from the jump. So I did mention how Drake dropped Scorpion, and people were, like, listening to that shit as soon as it, like, posted. There were people who already knew the lyrics by, like, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I heard the 2 tracks, because, okay, so Scorpion, the track list comes out on Thursday. I see it, I flip the fuck out, because I'm like, wait a minute, Jay-Z is featured on here, and so is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, you guys, like, Drizzy got Michael Jackson on here. Like, come on, that's legendary. Like, How do you even do that? He did do the A side and the B side. A lot of people were thinking that it was going to be A side was like hip hop, and then the B side was the R&B side of, you know, like it would be like separate. Once I saw the track list, I realized that it's not the case, because he does have God's Plan on one side, and then he has Nice for What on the other side. And both songs are like hip hop songs, I feel. Maybe, I don't know. For those who are watching, hey everybody, I'm asking an audience question. Would you say that Nice for What is more R&B, or would you put it, what category would you put it in a hip hop or in an R&B? Because that's the reason why I said that. I haven't really seen the whole like hip hop and R&B thing on social media of like people that are saying like, oh, I like the R&B side, or oh, I like, you know, it's not, it's, and then when you listen to it on Apple Music, it's just like, it's not even like an A or a B side. It's just, it just goes to 1 to 12, and then it goes to 1 to 13, and that's how you know that's one's A side, and then that one's the B side. So like I said, he did have the feature with Jay-Z, which at first I was thinking that it was gonna be this is bad. I don't like beef, but I'm hoping for a diss track anyway. I was hoping that the song that he has with Jay-Z, which is Talk Up, was gonna be like a response to Pusha, like the story about Aldian or whatever. I don't remember the kid. I don't remember the song's name, but because you guys remember a couple weeks ago, Pusha T and Dre were like in a little beef. So I was thinking that this song was gonna be a response to the diss track, and a chance for Jay-Z to throw a little shade onto Kanye. So of course that's the first song that I heard as soon as the album dropped, because I wanted to see if I was right. I was not. I didn't hear any sweet disses. I didn't hear nothing. There was not a response, but it's a really dope song. Which of course, like, how could you not? Like, they have Pound Cake, which is one of my favorite songs, and they have Pound Cake, which is from one of Drake's previous projects. And I was just really surprised, not excited, more surprised to see Jay-Z on, you know, on a Jay-Z track, just because they have such a weird history, sort of say, and to see them get on Drake's project is awesome. I didn't realize how many projects Drake has dropped until I saw a list of somebody who had like a top, you know, like a top list, that he's come out with a lot of projects. So shout out to Drizzy on the projects that that he's out here getting done. And then the other song that he has, which is the Michael Jackson song, the Michael Jackson feature. I thought that it was going to be, I was curious to see if it was going to be a new, something we've never heard of Michael, or if it was going to be a sample, because we do know that Drizzy loves his samples. So I wanted to see what it was going to be. So those were the two first songs that I heard. There was also Emotionless. Oh, by the way, for the Michael Jackson feature, it was something new that none of us have heard of. Like I said earlier, like only Drake. My brother says that's 40, which I agree. I agree that, you know, 40 has something to do with it. But it's a very, it was an awesome song. It was a great feature to have him on. Also, the song Emotionless has Drake basically admitting to his son and saying that he was trying to hide, you know, his son from the world because of just how the world is. He also has like some, he has like how women are happy until they put their phone down. Like when he said that, I felt that in my soul, because what he meant by that, at least what I took by it, is that we're always pretending to be happy on social media. That's something that like before I would always do on my social media, on some like I'm happy and this and that, and then when I just like I just felt that line so much, because I've seen women who are not happy in a relationship or who are not happy in their lives, including myself, and I would just post on social media and be happy, and then when I would put my phone down, I was just so unhappy. But when I would like open up my phone and see like all the notifications and see that, oh my God, people like, they believe me, you know, then that means that I have to be happy. And then I get the whole like you gotta fake it, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna front on here anymore like how I used to. And so when he said that line, I felt it, because I know what it's like to do that, and I know I've seen other people do the same thing. So it's just kind of like when he said that, and there was like another one that it was like a girl is dying to go to Italy because she just wants to basically like prove everybody wrong, like to travel, like, and that's what some of these women are doing. And ladies, we gotta stop doing that. If we want to go to Italy, it's because we trying to boss up. We trying to like level up. We trying to take our lives and our minds to this, you know, to the next level by traveling to another country. Like we can't do it. We can't keep holding on to the fact that someone hurt us in a way that we gotta stun on them. Like fuck that. We stunting because this is the life that we're living. We're only living one. So for us to be, you know, posting up and all of this dumb shit just to impress other people, we have to stop that. We have to make sure that what we are portraying on social media is not only what we want, but who we are. Because the next day, social media is gone. What you gonna do? You gonna keep acting like for what? Like your followers are not. They're not going to be checking up on you. They're not going to be, you know, making sure that your bills are paid. They're just not, you know. And so those are just some of the like I don't even know the name. I think it is from the song Emotionless, and I just loved it. And then he also has an Aaliyah sample. I can't remember what it was, but I remember like hearing it, and I was just like, oh shit, all right, this is, because at first you're like, I know this, like I've heard this before, where have I heard this before? And then you listen to it a little bit more, and it's Aaliyah. So I love that, because then we all know that Drizzy loves Aaliyah, so we're not surprised that, you know, of course her voice is in there. Also, I think Nicki has her like she has vocals in there too. This album just dropped yesterday, you guys, and I am unfortunately not like you guys. I'm just like, I had like stop the world, we're listening to the Drake album. Like, no, I'm still stuck on Everything Is Love. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys and sit here and tell you that, you know, that I was like itching to know, like I don't know, it's just I'm different when it comes to that. Like I love Drake, but I can also, you know, wait a little bit. We did do a like a little poll to see who was like excited to like listen to the Drizzy album. I'm gonna see if I can pull those numbers up for you guys. But it was just funny because I asked like, are you guys ready for the Drake album? Like who's ready for the Drake album? And then I was just like, oh, I'm ready. And the other one was like, I'm straight. And it was just funny because a lot of people put that they were straight. Like a lot of people were just like, it is what, like, it was not like it is what it is. It was just kind of like, not everybody is a Drake fan. And I find that so funny because he is a really good artist. Like he's been putting out music for a very long time now. I would say almost 10 years or more. So I was just it was interesting to see like because that people really don't like care for him. So it came in and it was who's listening to that new Drake tomorrow. 49% said that they were ready for it, and 51% said they were straight. And I said I'm straight because it's an ongoing joke that me and Hav have. That like one of my favorite things is like I'm straight. So that's where that came from. That you gotta read it in that voice. Are you kidding me? Okay. So it was 17 that said I'm ready for it, and then 18 that said I'm straight. I'm straight. So that's by one. It was like, you know, one is a single number. I thought I knew a song that went like that, and I couldn't deliver. So my bad, guys. So yeah, so Scorpion came out. So I'm gonna try to listen to it a little bit more. I've been, you know, I was doing my makeup earlier, so I did. You know, I was trying to listen. I was listening to it a little bit there. That's where I heard some of the lyrics of the songs and stuff. Obviously, I'm Upset is on there. God's Plan. I'm really liking the titles. So on Apple Music, what he dropped was this thing was says, I hate when Drake raps. Drake sings too much. Drake is a pop artist. Drake doesn't even write his own songs. Drake took an L. Drake didn't start from the bottom. Drake is finished. I like Drake's older stuff. Drake makes music for girls. Drake thinks he's Jamaican. Drake is an actor. Drake changed. Anybody else better than Drake? Yeah, we know. I love that. When I read that, I'm like, what? That takes courage to write that, because it's something that a lot of these artists are doing now, is that they're showing you, like, listen, I see what you guys are saying about me. I see all of the trolling that you guys are doing. I see what you guys may think, or like, because people on social media are so open about how they don't like somebody. And so for him to put all of those things, it's just kind of like, I hate when Drake raps. People are saying that. People don't like Drake, so they will say, I don't like when Drake raps. Then he says little things like tings and things like that. He grew up in Canada. I don't know how it is over there, but I know some people over there have accents, and then they have like Trinidadian parades and stuff. And I know that if I were to live over there, I would probably pick that up. You know, I'm not Cuban or I'm not Dominican, but I did grow up in Miami. In Miami, there are a lot of different Latino, cultures, and there's different ways that everybody says certain things. So when I hear something and I like it, I may pick it up just because I'm around it. You know, it is what it is. And so I love that he put that, because it's just like, to me, things like this are just a big fuck you, like in the nicest way possible. And I love those. I love those because it's like low-key shade, but like you don't really know. And so that's just for everybody. And then so the track list goes as follows. For the A side is Survival. Track number 1. Number 2 is Nonstop. Number 3 is Elevate. Number 4 is Emotionless. That was the song we were talking about. Number 5 is God's Plan. That's the one that he did that he shot at UM. I'm Upset. He also shot a video. He did a Degrassi like reunion, 10-year reunion, which I think was cool. I loved it. I'm Upset dropped the date after he dropped the response track to the diss track that Pusha dropped. But the video was pretty cool. It came out like a couple of episodes ago, but I did not watch it, so I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't watch it. There's also 8 out of 10, Mob Ties, Can't Take a Joke, Sandra's Rose, Talk Up featuring Jay-Z, Is There More? That's track 12, and that's the end of A side. B side is Peak. Number 2 is Summer Games. Number 3 is Jaded. I know that there was a conversation that came up that somebody was talking about how they were like jaded and how girls are jaded. And listen. Also, Nice for What comes in at number 4. Number 5 is Finesse. Number 6 is Ratchet Happy Birthday. Number 7 is That's How You Feel. Number 8, Blue Tint. Number 9, In My Feelings. Number 10, Don't Matter to Me. That's the one featuring Michael Jackson. 11, After Dark featuring Static Major, which, if I'm not mistaken, Static Major is somebody. I know who that is. It's Static Major and Ty Dolla $ign. I think like Static Major did a song with like Flies or something like that. I'm gonna have to like get back to you guys on that. Number 12 is Final Fantasy, and number 13 is March 14. So this album with this A side, B side has 25 songs, and it's 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now, I'm not mad at that. Everybody else is coming out with a whole bunch of like projects that are less than 10 tracks, and people are complaining about that. I already expressed how I felt about 8 track projects. I like it, especially if the project is good. 8 tracks is good enough for me, because if you would have given me 20 tracks and not all of them were good, I would only listen to 10 of them anyway. But then at the same time, you're not giving me enough options. If it's well executive produced and the sound is right, I feel that I can listen to an 8-track project back to back to back. A project that's an hour and 30 minutes, now that takes time. That's an hour and 30. This show is an hour, long already. So I know how long that is. What I just want to go ahead and acknowledge is the fact that we complain about when somebody else does a long project. Well, when Drake does a long project, don't nobody say nothing. Chris Brown came out with a 45-track project, and I love that project, and I can listen to that project over and over again. You know what I mean? So let's not bash when one person does one thing and then when the other person does it, and just because it's like, oh, it's straight, you know? We get it, guys. Drake is good. He's the bomb. I love him too. But if Chris Brown wants to come out, or not even just Chris Brown, anybody else. I remember when Culture 2 came out, and I think it had like 23 tracks. Like, it's almost the same thing as this. And everybody was complaining. Like, we have to be happy about everybody in the culture who's doing this, because you have to think about it. Before, we didn't have this voice. We didn't have an opportunity to be able to just drop a project every single week like a lot of these artists have been doing. They've been dropped. There has been a new project for so many weeks now. It's amazing how many projects have just dropped. And I think that, you know, whether it's a 45 track project or it's a 5-track project, I think that all of them should be celebrated. I think that we should all listen to them no matter what, that we should all support them, because when one of us comes up, we all come up together as a community, as a hip-hop community. So yeah, man, listen to all of that. You got to make sure that you're listening to everybody's project, and make sure that you know, we'll talk about Scorpion more next week, so make sure that you tune into dropping them. There was something that I saw, because we love the Kardashians here. We're not Kardashian bashers. I love the Kardashians. If you're a Kardashian fan, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know if there's any Kardashian fans out there with me on this. I did see the Kylie, she did like a little makeup tutorial like the one that Rihanna did, and I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. But something that I did see somebody post was, because Khloe got back with Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson. And so they got back together, and people are bashing her, saying that she's weak because I guess she's not supposed to like stay with him because he cheated. But Beyonce stayed with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z cheated. Some people were pointing out how they already had a kid when Jay-Z cheated, and how come she's not. The thing is that one would say the same thing about, you know what I mean, one would say the same thing about Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's like, oh, you guys praise them because they're Jay-Z and Beyonce, but people don't feel the same way towards Khloe because she's a Kardashian. And unfortunately, we live in a society where these women can't just, you know, like stunt. They can't do nothing. They can't really, like, they just get so hated on. Like, it's so, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't see what's going on. I love her. I don't know if I were to get back with a guy who cheated on me, especially if I was having his kid already. It's a tough thing, and I don't feel that as a society, like, or as even an audience, we don't have any right to talk about anybody's life. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, Khloe shoulda, or Khloe or Kim shoulda, or Courtney or Beyonce shoulda, because I don't know. I don't know Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship. I don't know if now they really are going to therapy, or I don't know if, you know, Beyonce is just like, listen, I'm in this with you for life, because I know that there are women that have done that. You know, I grew up around one that did. So it just makes a lot of sense as to why some women are just okay, like listen, because sometimes men cheat and it's not that deep. Like, I don't know if it's like some, like, if I'm gonna say it one more time, when men cheat, it's not that deep. And I mean that in the sense that men can have sex with a woman and it won't mean anything to them, literally. Like, I've seen that. It's happened to me where I've you know, where I've had sex with a guy and it didn't mean anything to him, you know what I mean? So it just kind of makes sense to where it's just like, okay, well, it didn't mean nothing, like, you know. And then that's why she also has a song. Well, the song came out before he cheated, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, I know she was attractive, but I was good to you, and it's called Resentment. That song was beautiful, by the way. But it just goes into, like, this whole thing, like, okay, so Beyonce can do it, but Khloe can't do it. I feel that Khloe was in a circumstance that she was about to have a kid. And some women they will make sure that their kid comes into at least a positive environment, an environment that is not jaded, an environment that is going to be happy, and that, yes, you know, I was there. Like dad can say, yes, I was there with the moment that you were born. I was there at the hospital. And not that it's important, because I wouldn't love my dad less if he didn't show up to the hospital when I was born. But it's also something that I know as my dad, if he wouldn't have been there, he wouldn't like that. He wouldn't be happy about that, because he wasn't there for the birth of his daughter, you know. And I don't feel that any man should have to go through that. And her taking him back, I feel it's okay. Like, listen, girl, you do you. Don't. And I know she doesn't care what anybody has to say, so I know she does not care about what anybody has to say, so it is all good. I know she will be fine when it comes to that. So the BET Awards, hello. The BET Awards were this week, and I loved them. First of all, Jamie Foxx hosted them. Jamie Foxx did an amazing job hosting. Honestly, one of the only reasons why I was just like, oh damn, you know, I'll watch it. I try to watch the BET Awards because I always feel that they have good performances. I've always preferred them over the MTV Awards, because they do artists, mainly the artists that I know, which is like the hip hop and R&B. At the MTV Awards, they usually do artists that like I know, but I feel like I just like BET better, whatever. And so Jamie Foxx was hosting it. It was hilarious. He did an opening skit. Childish Gambino was there. Childish Gambino went on stage and did a little bit of the This Is America dance. She showed up in pajamas. I love that outfit, by the way, and I didn't even think there were pajamas. And if he's sleeping in something like that, like, he does not live in Florida. So Meek Mills performed, and he premiered a new song with Miguel. Loved it, because it had such a strong, powerful message. They did the stage like as if it was like a borough in like New York, like the streets of New York or the streets in Philly. And it was pretty cool because it was very cinematic. There was like children, and there was actors, and there was even light posts. Miguel killed it. His voice sounds so good. I always love that Miguel had his own performance by himself, which I thought was cool. But then he got on stage again to perform with Meek Mill, and I thought that, like, it just goes to show, like, that hip hop artists are always like looking for that singer to kind of take their song to the next level. And Miguel, I feel, has such a strong, powerful voice. So for Meek to put him on a powerful song like this one makes so much sense, and it made the song even better. So that was like a highlighter performance. I guess they gave Anita Baker a Lifetime Achievement Award, and if you know me and follow me on social media, you know I love me some Anita Baker. So when I saw that they gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award, I was so happy, because she truly deserves it. She's been making music for over 30 years, and for them to finally do it, I heard that they've been trying to do it, but she wasn't ready. Anita Baker has one of the best voices. If you were to see the crowd when the people who were, you know, singing the songs, you would see them, they would be dudes, gangster dudes, like thugged out dudes singing along to Anita Baker songs. They had 3 women singing. They had Marsha Ambrosius, Ledesi, and Yolanda Adams. Yolanda Adams made me cry. Just saying, not afraid to say it. She sang. I felt like it was Anita Baker singing. Unfortunately, Anita Baker did not sing, which I'm very upset about, because I know sometimes when they do Lifetime Achievement Awards, the artist does perform. I also noticed that Quavo was so surprised to hear like Yolanda Adams. Like there's a visual of him just going like, wow, like he was in such awe. And it was one of my favorite things to see, like in award shows, is when people do not know the lyrics in the camera and the camera goes on them. That's like one of the funniest things ever, that they're doing like it's like a performance, and then they go into the crowd, and then it's like the person realizes they're on TV and they're trying to, or like they don't even know that they're on TV, and then you just see them and they do not know the words. I think that's one of the funniest things ever. But that was definitely happening a lot in the BET Awards. What else? There were like a couple of things. Her performed. It was her first performance on TV. Beautiful voice. I am for certain that she surprised a lot of people that were in the building, because Jamie Foxx was blown away. Also, Ella Mai performed her song "Booed Up," and there was a video that went out of the Migos just like jamming out to that performance. What I liked is that there were a lot of performers, a lot of performances. SZA got the Best New Artist award, which I feel was definitely, like it was hers. Cardi B, from what I heard, they said that Cardi B got like Best Female hip hop artist or something like that, and that they didn't announce it because Nicki was in the building and they didn't want to like make Nicki mad. Really? Also Cardi is pregnant, so she couldn't be there. So she won the Viewer's Choice Award, and that's something that you don't know who's going to win until all of the votes are in. So it's a little different. But the female hip hop, they didn't do it because of the fact that, I'm gonna go with that she's pregnant and she couldn't fly. So they already knew that. They already knew that she was gonna win. So it's just like, we don't need to introduce this. For me, I didn't even notice how most of the nominations. To me, what I noticed was the performances. Migos performed, like I said, her performed. Daniel Caesar came out. Also, Snoop Dogg performed. He has like a gospel album out, which I think is amazing, because he came out with like some gospel artists. And it was also the I think it was like over 20 years or 25 year anniversary since Dog Pound came out, which was awesome. I'm trying to think of like Miguel, like I said, performed as well. Migos performed. That was awesome. I loved it. I'm sure there were some. Nicki performed. She did a good job. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw it, and the only thing that I don't like is that she doesn't really rap some of her words in some of the songs. But besides that, and then she makes some crazy ass faces. But for the most part, I feel like the way that she performs is pretty good. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. There's obviously just there's too much personality there for my taste. And then this girl had her legs like this. Like, baby girl, ladies, we do not need to be flapping our fucking thighs in the air to get attention from the public. She did the song Big Bank with 2 Chainz, YG, and Big Sean. Love that. Y'all know I love me some YG. I don't know what it is, but YG just has my heart to the core, like in love with him. And as soon as I heard that, like I seen that he was there, I was just like, who is he gonna perform? And he did come out. He came out to perform with 2 Chainz, Big Sean, and Nicki, because they do have a song, Big Bank. I enjoy that song. That song's pretty. That song, Big Bank, take Lil Bang, hey. And then it's almost like a competition, because I really like Big Sean's verse in that song, and I really, really like YG's part, so it's a little. So she also performed, she got to perform, I think, 2 songs and then a song with The Boys. Let's see. I think that was it for the performances, at least the ones that I remember, and the ones that I wanted to talk about. Of course, you don't have like the Rihanna's there. You don't have like Beyonce's not, putting a pause on the Run 2 tour, to go to the BET Awards. And yeah, so it was just an overall good show. I think Jamie Foxx did a good job. I think all the performances were done very well. I think BET did a very good job. Also honoring some of the artists that were international. There was a nomination for international artists, and there were artists from Nigeria, from the UK, from just different countries in the world, and I thought that was pretty cool. A Nigerian artist was the one who won the award, and I thought that was beautiful, because he went on stage and he was just like he talked about how like Migos have gone to Nigeria, and he just talked about different things, and then at the end he was just like, I want to collaborate, like hit me up to collaborate, like I'm down for it. And you would think that, like, in my head, you would think that like he would come to this award show and with a different type of attitude. Not saying that he's gonna come to the, but that not that he's coming to the award show to be like a dick or anything, but he did come and he was just like, you guys, you need to come to visit Africa. I'm not African American, but I would love to visit Africa either way, and I would love to visit Nigeria as well. So he was just like, come to Africa, come see, like, come visit. Like, this is a place that you guys need to be so you can learn your roots and stuff like that. And I love that he said that, because this is somebody who doesn't live in America, African who doesn't live in America, who sees us in a different point of view than we see them. I just felt like it was just so beautiful. It was very authentic, and I love that he won. I love that they added that award. That was one of the awards that I do remember the most. I know DJ Khaled and Rihanna won one for with Bryson Tiller, the best collab, and then I know best group went to Migos. Shout out to them. But besides that, like I said earlier, I do not know any of the other nominations just because I was into the performances. So as we know, Jay-Z and Beyonce are on tour right now, and I should not be doing this, but yes. So Jay-Z and Beyonce are on tour right now, and it is going amazing. I'm seeing footage. They dropped this album like we talked about last week. They dropped this album in the height of their tour, and this is the international tour. They're right now touring internationally. They haven't even made it to the States yet. So much footage has gone out that it makes me want to just spend my whole, like, Bay and Jay, take my whole check. Just take it. All of it. Because of all of this footage that I have been seeing, I'm obsessed with it. The album, we talked about it last week. We could talk about it again this week because I just love it. I just keep hearing different things in the songs that just makes me want to fall in love with it even more. It just puts me in a good mood. Like I said, this album's gonna be on heavy rotation for a minute. I did talk about earlier about how Reasonable Doubt just celebrated its 22-year anniversary, and I just want to point out that Reasonable Doubt is one of my it has to be my favorite Jay-Z album. It reminds me of a time in my life where I was on a journey to becoming a better version of myself, and I remember just listening to this album because the drive of where it was when I started working out and going to like boot camps and stuff. The drive to the gym that I was going to was around 20-30 minutes, and it was not the entire length of the album, but it was a good listen on the way over there, and it would hype me up. It would encourage me, to go ahead and just get that shit, and it just the songs. And so I had to play the album. I love the album, and I just feel like Reasonable Doubt is one of those albums that is so underrated, but the ones who love it. And I know it's Jay-Z's favorite album. It's this album is basically what started Rockefeller, because nobody would sign Jay-Z. So they had Reasonable Doubt, and it came down to it where it was just like, all right, well, no one's really going to sign us, so we're just gonna have to do this ourselves. And I love that, and that's why later on in life I realized what Reasonable Doubt meant, and I'm like, I wonder why he called it that, but I'm like, I don't even care because the album is dope. So happy 22-year anniversary to Jay-Z and Reasonable Doubt. Crazy how 22 years later you have a project with your wife, you have 3 kids, you're on Drake's new album. Like, good things are happening, and I'm very happy for you. You came from something where nobody wanted you on their label. Now you have your own label, you have your own streaming services. Listen, Jigga, there's a reason why I fuck with you. You and Diddy, I don't know what y'all just got the right idea on where it is that you guys are taking your business, and I admire that, and I appreciate that. We need more people like that in hip hop, and I plan on being one of them. Another thing that I completely, like, it just slipped my mind. I had it in my head. Okay, so I heard the I Decided album by Big Sean. I just want to point this out because it's an album that I just heard one of the songs, and I don't know, it took me back into a place last year where I was, and how lost I was, and how happy I was, but not really. And the name of the album was I Decided. I love the name of that album, and I just heard it again, and I wanted to point this out because a lot of the times we listen to music and we forget that this music always has a message, and that if you were to listen to a song that you heard 5 years ago today, the emotions that you felt at that moment when you heard that song the first time, or when you would hear it on repeat and repeat and repeat. Like, I hear songs from when I was in high school, like Keisha Cole and just different artists that I can go on and on about, because 2007 was a really good year in music. And I always think about that, and I always think about that moment, and the feeling, and that music holds that feeling, and we cannot take music for granted. That's why it's so important for us to go out there and support artists, and to buy their music, and to stream it. And I'm so happy that the Big Sean album reminded me of this, because I love that album, and I love what it helped me with in the time of my life of when it dropped. So I would love to know, for all of the listeners and the viewers that are the Ambition Hour podcast fans and family, I would love to know, like, what album does that for you? What album gives you that nostalgic feeling that just takes you back into that place? And if it's more than one album, please feel free to drop it. Please, if you guys are watching, leave a comment. Let me know that you guys are watching. Answer any of the questions that I always ask on the episode. I always ask random questions on the episode, because I am learning just as much as you about everything that's going on in the hip-hop industry and entertainment. You guys mainly know that we talk about hip-hop on here because we are a hip-hop radio station with hip-hop artists. And, we're definitely going to be expanding to R&B artists, and maybe some other things. But as far as that, so we just have to keep, bringing awareness. And thank you for always watching, and thank you for being, thank you for being a fan, and make sure that you subscribe. We are going to be getting into the question of the week. So, as you guys know, and if you follow me on Instagram, I always have a question of the week. Every week is something different. Whatever my curious little mind sparks up is what I ask my followers on Instagram. I want to thank each and every single one of you that participated in this week's poll. I have to say that this is the most votes in any poll and any question of the week that we've done on the Ambition Hour podcast. And I'm so proud of that, because the numbers were amazing, and I got so much good feedback, and so many people answered, and so many people elaborated, and I'm so grateful for that, because it's exactly what I needed, so I can give you guys like this little question of the week segment. So the question was, when it comes to dating, do you care if a man/woman has kids? Now, you guys know that I don't respond to this ever on my story. I do respond to it on the Ambition Hour podcast, sorry. Like, under that name. 39% said yes, and 61% said no. I found that number very interesting. Mainly because my answer is yes. My answer, when it comes to dating, if I like a guy and he has kids, it does put my guard up. I am probably not going to engage as much in the conversation, or maybe not expect as much. Also, because when a man has kids, especially if they're a hands-on man, which I would hope, it's kind of harder for it's harder for me, because I grew up in a household where my parents were together. They have been together for 30 years, going on to 31 this year. There's no kids outside of the marriage. I was their first kid, both of their first kids, so I hold that standard. I would like for my first kid to be my partner's first kid. So for me, I do care, because I have that standard. So I automatically, once I know that a guy has a kid, I already am just kind of like, you're cool, you're cute, we can have a cool conversation. But I don't know, because not that I don't want to be somebody's stepmother, but it's just not the same. You also have like the whole baby mama drama, or in a man's case, the baby daddy drama. There's so many different factors in it, and to me, to protect myself, I see it that way, to where it's just kind of like, I cannot date you because you have a kid. And no offense to the single parents out there, but I personally wouldn't understand what you have to go through if you cannot see your kid, or if you see your kid all the time, but your baby mama, gives you headaches and stuff. or is being dramatic or things like that, or that your child goes before you. I can't understand that, because to me, I want that attention, and I feel that in a relationship you need that attention in the beginning. If you are more than open to dating somebody who has a kid, I feel like you have that you have that chance. We all have the chance to be like, no, I'm not going to date somebody with a kid, or yes, I am, I don't have a problem with that, I just need to get to know the person, I need to get to know the kid. Some people don't even let you meet their kids until they've been dating for like a year or something like that, which I get. So before I keep blabbering on, I got a lot of responses from a lot of people. So I'm just going to say the numbers. It was 55 said yes and 87 said no. Like I said, that's the most responses that we have ever gotten in the Ambition Hour. So thank you guys for that, because it means so much to me to be able to be getting a response like that. I'm just going to go into my DMs, because I did have a lot of conversations with people about this. I had conversations with moms. Like I had one mom say that she couldn't date somebody who didn't have kids because she had dated somebody without kids, and he just didn't understand. And not only did he not understand, she also mentioned that she wouldn't want to introduce him to her kids. And if she wouldn't want to introduce him to her kids, or that she felt like he wasn't fit to meet her kids, she's just like, I'm not going to waste my time with you, you know? And then I had another woman who mentioned that, you know, she's been around, she's older, so she's seen like her friends from like 21 years old to I think 38 now, that she's seen them like go through different things, that she said that she was okay with dating somebody with kids, and because of the fact that it's just like, you know, you have to make sure that the person is taking care of the kid, that there shouldn't be a problem. There was just so many different factors. I had answers from people who did have kids and who didn't have kids. So she was the one who didn't have kids. I had the one previously she has 2 kids. And then I also had some guys answered. Some guys were just like, it just honestly depends if there is baby, because I'm the type, listen, if you go elaborate with me, I'm gonna elaborate, I'm gonna respond to you, and I'm gonna talk to you too, because I want to understand different point of views, so that way I can open my mind, and that way I can also give you guys some new information that you may not know about how other people in this world think, because not everybody thinks the same way that you do. So just because you may say yes, it does matter to you. Imagine the people that are saying no, or imagine a mom who is saying yes, it matters to me if they have kids. And for some people, it does matter if they have kids. If she has kids and he has kids, it does matter to them, because of the simple fact that it's like, okay, so he has his own kids, but how does he treat his own kids? You know what I mean? This question held so much weight, you guys, and I didn't expect it. I just wanted to really know, and it turned into something that was crazy. And then so one of the guys that responded, he had his own kid. So, and I asked him, okay, so have you dated anybody who does not have kids? You know, you have a son, or you have a child. Have you dated somebody who doesn't have one? And he said, yeah, I have dated a girl that doesn't have any kids. And I asked him how that was, and he said that it was the same thing. Just that when you know, he like, just when the kid isn't around, you know, obviously the kid is most likely with the mother the majority of the time, because that's how it is when the parents aren't together. Even though some men are taking more responsibility nowadays, but and so I asked him about how his relationship with his baby mother was, and he said that it was good, and that he understands that she understands that they're not together anymore, and you know, if he were to start dating another woman, that you know, that there wouldn't be any drama. I also asked it like on my Instagram, and I got more answers there too. And so I got like somebody put deal breaker for me, not knocking it, just not for me. Someone said for the most part no, but I think it gives more to pay attention to. An example would be the kinds of relationship both parents have. If there is one Any animosity there could easily transfer onto you, and that might not be what you thought you were signing up for. I agree with that. That was Phantom of the Popular. Thank you. The first one was which is one of my cousins, Joanna. Thank you. She said it was a deal breaker. And then we have FitPrez, who said a real man would say no. I don't agree with that because I feel that everybody is entitled to say yes or no. And if you say yes or no, it doesn't make you any less of a man or any more of a man or any less of a woman or any, you know. I'm very like, if you guys have noticed from other stuff, like when somebody's just like, oh, a real XXX or a real person would say this, or I don't like, or like a girl should say yes, and it's just like, no, we're all entitled to say yes or no, period. King Chuck, stay higher than a bit. Do you guys read your Instagram names out loud? Like King Chuck, stay high. All right. And then he put no, as long as she is a good mom. Fanny 0327 said no. Spitz 305, shout out to the WTW fam, said I care. Mandy Marie 321 said I say no because life will give you many precious gifts and blessings, and we can either miss out on them or you can just take charge and accept the extra gifts from God. Children are never going to be a deal breaker because it takes a village to raise any one child. The deal breaker will be the character and the maturity of the individual that I'm dating. Another person said no. Another one said it shouldn't matter whether they have kids or not, this was Monica Herpa Beauty 24. It shouldn't matter whether they have kids or not. I came into my relationship with kids from my previous marriage and he did not care. I had them. He loves me and my kids as his own. 10 years later, we are still holding strong. So that's a really good example of, you know, taking a chance. This man took a chance on a woman who had kids, and they've been together for 10 years, and it's, you know, it's going well. Somebody put no because blended families. D Alejandra 93 said yes. Harrington 4512, having kids is a plus to me. I didn't get to talk to them, so maybe it could be because they have kids or because he just likes women with kids. Bila 521 said not really. King Kuda said no. She'd money, no. Incognito because I have kids, got kids of my own. So some people, they would prefer that somebody that they're dating does have kids. Afro Zay says depends on how old I am when dating that person. I'm only 20 and that can be a lot of baggage at such a young age, but mid-20s I wouldn't care. Baby girl, when you get to your mid-20s, talk to me again and let me know how you feel, because when you get to 25 and these men out here are with kids and things like that, you might not feel the same, because by the time that you're 25, you didn't experience some things, you didn't see some things, you didn't see your friends go through some things with their kids. Because let's face it, we all have friends that get, you know, that have kids young. You know, it's just a thing of life. I'm just gonna go randomly into one of the other ones that I had. Oh man, this question was amazing. So in love, I loved it. Okay, I think it was down here. Let's see. While you are waiting for me to find this information, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, WTW TV. Y'all see how I sing for you guys? I just break out on song for you guys whenever I need time. So I just wanted to go ahead and it's this conversation that I had with It's Bida. I went to high school with her. She put I care, but it's not a determining factor. You have to take into consideration that this person has an entire other person to worry about and take care of, and that for the beginning of the relationship will always come before you. This little person will have to become a part of you too as the relationship grows. I care because there's two to tango, and there's a special third person to add to the mix, the other parent of that child. Is this person the jealous type? Is she going to try to kill me? Girl, listen, I done seen some baby mamas and know some baby mamas that are freaking crazy. I can only imagine if I were to date a dude with a crazy ass baby mama. And then she said, again, it's not what that I write someone off because they have kids, but I'm very cautious because of the other parties involved. And I said, you're the only one who said that. Well, in that way, because that's how I feel. Baby mamas are crazy. She said, yeah. She shared with me like a story that I thought was I'm not gonna put like the entire story on here, but we did talk for a good while after that. And then some of the other people, like I said, I had really good conversations with. I also had Letler who commented, Melissa, who like DM'd me, and she elaborated a little bit. She said, it's like when I got married and moved in with Xavier, which is her husband. I can discipline my dog all I want, but if Xavier talks to him in a strong voice, I get snappy because it's not fully his dog. Same thing I've seen with kids. The step-parent walks on eggshells, and then there's the baby mama you have to be dealing with. She mentioned how somebody that she knows got married to someone with 2 kids, and all she ever does is sacrifice things for him in order for the kids to be happy, and now they're having a kid, and the kids are depressed, are not depressed, they're pissed. So then you also have the factor of the kids not liking you, and then what? Like, that's just gonna make hell. And then if the baby mama, we don't got time for it. This might have, I wanted to bring the boys on here, but we unfortunately didn't get the boys on here. But I really wanted to bring them on here so I can get that point of view. We probably would have to dedicate an entire hour to this topic, maybe even do a live. I'm open to doing that because I really think that this topic is something that people don't talk about enough. And it's something that happens every day because more and more people, especially the older that you get, are gonna have kids. With that being said, thank you for participating in the poll of this week and for the question of the week of the Ambition Hour podcast. I want to say thank God I am ambitious, because I would have gone cray this week. I say that, I feel like I say that every single week, but I just feel like thank God I'm ambitious, because this week, despite the fact that everything that was going on, I still made an effort to go ahead and have a positive attitude in life, to be grateful for life, and to make sure that my attitude was the energy that I needed. And that I thank God that I am ambitious, because I'm also at this job that I absolutely love, and I got a raise there, and I just thank God I'm ambitious. Like, thank you, God. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching episode 23 of the Ambition Hour podcast on WTW TV and WTW Radio. I appreciate you guys so much. This is your girl, Adi 3000, and for the 23rd time this year, I'm out.